This is my first HMO project. I got this whole kitchen refurbed for £2,800. The boiler got nicked. The rent's going to be at the top end of rents in this town. This floor is all sloping down to the bottom corner here because we had a settlement problem. Definitely we did not stay on budget. Hi, my name's Alex Moyes and I'm a property investor from Newark. I work in cybersecurity as a day job, but I'm building my property portfolio for the future and for my children. This is my first HMO project and it's all done now. So I'm going to take you around and show you everything that's gone wrong, everything that's gone right, the lessons learned. I'm going to talk to you about all the numbers, how much we're going to make from it, how much is going to cash flow and how much the refurbishments cost. So this is part 2 of my first HMO series. If you want to see what this house looked like when I first got the keys, then check out the video up here. Before I take you inside, like, subscribe and hit the notification button. So, this is the kitchen. The old kitchen was a shell. It was pretty awful. Across the whole house we had to take this back to brick so we can insulate all the walls. So first of all, this whole room's gone back to brick. It had new plaster, insulated plasterboard, and then we had the kitchen fitted. Stayed the same size, but the big addition is the bathroom down at the end, so we'll show you that in a minute. So I got this whole kitchen refurbed for £2,800, and we do that by using a buying group called LMPG, which gives us great prices. So this kitchen's from Magnet. It's a Lunar kitchen, which is a good mid-range kitchen, and so it's strong, it's robust. Hopefully it's going to last about 10 years or so at least before we have to do anything in this house again. Once we have a kitchen and a style and a design that works for us, we use the same one every time. So this is actual extra floor space that we've added to the property. So this was an outhouse before. It had some doors, external doors. So it had a new floor which has been insulated, which is really important to get the right EPC level that we want. And then the external walls were rebuilt, insulated as well with that 50mm thick insulated plasterboard, insulated ceiling. So then now we've got a nice bathroom. We go for an electric shower in here. I think that's always really important, just in case there's ever a problem with the boiler. There's always an electric shower in the house as well, so people can still have a warm shower. So this house was a 2-bedroom house with 1 bathroom previously. It's now going to have 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And we think it's really important to get that extra bathroom in because part of our strategy is to try and encourage tenants to stay here for a long time. So the fact that only 2 people are sharing a bathroom is going to really help them have a bit more space and a bit more privacy. We don't go for putting en suites in every room, so we think the next best thing is to make sure that people are not sharing that much and that we have that extra space. When we did the strip out of this house, we actually had a boiler that was about 2 years old in the house and I was going to reuse it. I don't know where or how, but effectively the boiler got nicked. So we ended up having to buy a new boiler. So I've got a brand new lovely boiler which cost me £1,000, which I didn't budget for because someone walked off with the old one. It had to be someone with access to the property because there was no signs of break-in. I had a guy who did all my strip out and is my handyman. He had access, as well as the builder's build team had access. So with my guy, he did his work. I should have changed the code on the lockbox so that he couldn't get access anymore. And then the builder was the only person with access to the property. And then if anything went missing, it was clear it was his responsibility, but it was muddied because I had people coming in and he had people coming in. So next time I'd separate that out. So come through to the dining area. This is going to be the communal room for all of the tenants. We try and think about the decor. We make it an inviting place for people to come and sit and relax so that people don't just sit in their bedrooms and stay out of the way. We do want to try and create a bit of a community feeling in the property. So this room is the dining space. It's kind of the focal point of the house. My wife Kate did all the interior design, so she picked the colour schemes, she did the layout, and actually she worked with the furniture supplier to choose the furniture as well. We go above and beyond for our tenants for a few reasons. First of all, core business reasons. It makes more money in my opinion. The rent's going to be at the top end of rents in this town, but the property is attractive and it's going to stand out. Secondly, we think that tenants will enjoy living here and they will stay here, so we'll have less voids. And thirdly, it differentiates us because a lot of the property in this town in Newark is not great, not that well presented, very functional, and we wanted to provide something that was just that little bit better than the market. So come through, this was the front room, and if you saw the previous video, you'll see it's just one front room. Lots have changed. First and foremost, the whole floor was stripped out and the 2 front walls down the sides here were underpinned with lots of concrete because the house had a settlement problem. And because we put so much concrete in the ground, we then decided we'll have a nice new concrete floor, and we put the stud wall in here so that we can have a bedroom and we can still use the front door. So this is the first bedroom, double bed. They have a built-in wardrobe here. We put plugs up there so that the tenant can have a TV facing their bed. They've got a desk, chest of drawers. There's enough space here for them to to have their own stuff. They can work here if they need to and relax in here as well. Some of the small details we try and think about to make it a little bit easier for tenants is things like putting the plugs where they are either side of the bed. In a lot of these old properties, the plugs are always just in the corner, somewhere where you don't want them, and there's never enough. So there's actually 3 sets of double plugs in here. TV aerial as well, so they can have everything plugged in and it's safe. So this is the second bathroom. As you said, it's really important to have 2. So actually it's a shower room really. And we've taken a bit of space from the bedroom next door, which I'll show you in a minute. This was the overstairs cupboard, so we put a shower in there. Also, one of the important things I've learned this time around, in particularly old houses, tenants need places to dry their clothes. So we put a drying rack in here where there's a fan so that we can get rid of the condensation, and we'll stop tenants putting it in their bedrooms, because if they put it in their bedrooms it creates too much moisture and then we'll get damp and mold problems. We're going to bedroom 2 now. So this was the really big room we stole some space from, but you can still see it's a great size. We've got a double bed, wardrobe, sitting working area, so there's a good amount of space. If you can see in here, this gives you a clue to some of the troubles that we had with this house, because this floor is all sloping down to the bottom corner here. Nothing in this house is straight basically, because we had a settlement problem. You've seen cracking. The cracking on the outside, it's pretty much come from this window down to the floor there, and then all the way down that wall. When I first saw this house, I didn't know if it was something that I should take on. A lot of people won't take on properties with structural challenges, put off a lot of people, and it allowed me to get the house at a cheaper price. And because I had that team around me, they could come in and quantify, this is what the cause is, this is what you need to do. You know, a structural engineer was like, it's not a big deal, I've done hundreds of these. I do see my role as a property investor as trying to understand the problem first and then understand the fix, and if you can fix it, it's not really a problem. So every room's got its own colour, and this is part of trying to provide a little bit of identity and character to the house. We're not spending loads of money on things, so it's about trying to elevate the house in low cost ways, and I think paint is a really good way to do that. So again, Kate, the interior designer, she came up with the colour schemes, and actually she's matched the colours to the orientation of the room. Some colours look better in dark rooms, some in light rooms, so I think it just contributes to that bit more special feeling. So this is a 3rd bedroom. This is a really interesting example of some of the other challenges that we had with the house actually. If you look at the window, it's far from straight. The wall here is at such a crazy angle that we chose to just use stud-work to straighten off the wall and to fill it in. You know, 140 years of a house, things move and change. Just one of those things dealing with old properties that you get. So again, this is a double room. We don't use colour in the bedrooms too much. We want people to be able to bring their own things and personalise it in their own way. And then we have a charcoal kind of feature wall in most of the bedrooms just to make it look a little bit different. So this was a 2-bedroom property. So you had bedroom at the front, bedroom in the middle, and this was a bathroom. Converted this to a bedroom. So this is a really good sized bedroom. There's only certain streets in town that have this rear room big enough to be a HMO bedroom. So it's really important for us to find the right houses. The biggest challenge with the bedrooms actually is where the furniture is going to go, where our radiators going to go. So in this room you can see the radiators down by the bed there under the window, and that's not necessarily ideal, but where it is not taking up wall space so that we could have the desk, we could have the wardrobe. And that's something that we plan in every room. We do the layouts on a diagram to make sure that it works as well as possible. And this house is an example of best practice. We've learned a lot from doing this. We've got a few of the radiator placements wrong where they're right where we'd really want to put a wardrobe, but you know, now we can't. So some of the rooms don't quite sit exactly as we envisaged it, but we take that learning and the next one we'll do it better. So I've only been doing property for just over 2 years, and I've now refurbished and delivered 5 projects. And education's been fundamental to allow me to do that. If you want to know how you can start or scale your property business, there's a free report in the description below. Go and have a read of that and see how you can get started.
Did you stay on budget?
No, definitely we did not stay on budget for this house. Over optimistic on the pricing on my part. Bear in mind, I've delivered 3 refurbs on single lets within the margin of error on the budget, and to me that's 10%. You know, I delivered a 15 grand refurb for 15, 16 grand. And you know, I've done that 3 times. I took those prices and I didn't just think, no, I can achieve a HMO for that, but I added in more stuff to try and give me a budget. But it became apparent once I started getting builders quotes that that budget was not enough for all the extras that we were going to need. Prices went up during that whole time, and refurbs and materials definitely cost more than when we started. Didn't necessarily have the right starting number either. To me at that point, I didn't know how much it was going to cost us to furnish and equip a HMO. There was a slot on the spreadsheet for that, but I didn't know the value of it until we really got down to working out and pricing up everything that we had. So the extras that come with a HMO cost more. The fact that the project needed more work cost more. So actually overall the build work was quite reasonable, but then when you start adding everything else on, yeah, it went over budget. So we bought this house for 116,000. We actually originally agreed a slightly higher price, but because of the underpinning, we negotiated that down. Purchase fees, just over £1,000, stamp duty, £3,500. I have a broker fee in there as well. I always budget about £1,000 for running costs, which is about 6 months. This project is taken 12 months, so clearly that was out as well. This is financed by private investors that we work with. A year's worth of finance is going to be nearly £7,000. We're going to have refinance costs of about £1,000. Looking at the major costs, we're talking just materials at the moment because the labour was all part of the build cost, but the kitchen was £2,800. We did 2 bathrooms for about £3,000, £2,500 on the strip out. So that was for the skip, for the guy. He ended up stripping out the whole property back to brick pretty much and taking the front floor out. So he was here for quite a while. We spent about £1,000 on the structural engineer. The build itself, what I paid to the builder was about £54,000, and that included his project management fee and his VAT. And he supplied the building materials, but I supplied anything that was cosmetic. So I supplied the kitchen and I supplied the bathroom. And then at the end, we spent quite a bit on decorating. So we could decorate a house from a labour perspective for £1,600. And we spent about £300 on paint. So I know our decorator is really good value, but paint is not cheap at the moment. We spent about £2,200 on the floors, and then that really leaves furnishing. So as we talked about before, it's about £4,800 to furnish the house. And then appliances, we probably spent about £700–800 on appliances as well. So the main refurbishment cost to get it from the shell to now cost us £79,500.
When we did the video last time, I believe you said 30 to 40 grand was your budget.
Yeah, it's tough to be 100% over on the budget. It's really tough. It's an amount that is not sustainable to keep doing it, and I'm all about trying to have a model that I can keep repeating. So yeah, we know that we need to reduce the build costs and we need to buy cheaper next time. £208,000. We're all in for. It's a lot of money, but we've got a lot of house for it. There's literally nothing in this house really that hasn't been touched, from the floors to the walls to the roof to the plumbing, the heating, you know, the kitchens, the bathrooms. We have done a lot for the money, and we've taken a 2-bedroom house and made it 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So I understand why we got here, and I know how I'm going to pay for it. So overall, I'm not losing sleep over it. From a cash flow perspective, monthly, that's going to be about £2,250. We'll mortgage the property for £180,000. There's a mortgage fee of about £600 a month for the mortgage, and other bills of £400 to £500 a month means that at the end of the day, the net cash flow to us will be £1,200 a month. That'll be really good cash flow to go towards our goals. You have to be honest and say overall I'm relieved that it's finished and that we've delivered it. I'm really happy with what we've produced. The last part of this project was a real team effort between Kate and I in terms of the interior design and stuff, and I think the house looks great. We already have another project that's being delivered right now that's got some of the learnings from this. You learn a lot and it's still going to make us money. So overall, yeah, pretty happy. The next 2.5 years could be very interesting. It all depends on the properties that we can buy, but we're committed to the HMO strategy in Newark. I think Newark's a great place to invest in, so we'll still be investing here. And it's all about working towards that magic number for us where we could potentially replace my income. And that gives you a lot of choices, even if you choose not to stop work. I think it's really empowering to actually know that you have a business producing that behind you. It gives you a lot of security. So I think in the next 2.5 years we'll be much closer to that goal. My company is called PrimePad Property. We have a business page on Facebook where you can follow a lot of what we do, and you can follow me on Facebook. My name's Alex Moyes. I'm just there on Facebook, and I put a lot of my stuff on my personal page, try and talk about the sort of trials and tribulations a lot more on there, so please check it out. So this was our first HMO and it's all finished. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out in the end, but there's been a lot of lessons to take away from it. So why don't you let me know below what you think and what you'd have done differently. There's a completely free report in the description below. Why don't you go and check it out and see if it'll help you start your property journey. I'm Alex Moyes, and it's really been a pleasure to show you around my first HMO project. I've got more property projects to do, and maybe we'll do some videos of those. If you'd like to see them, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification button below.